Yeah, so I wanted to just create a quick video on how to create videos in VoiceOver. I'm a big fan of PowerPoint, and for really multiple reasons. One, the ease of application. The second one is when I go through and update content from one year to the next with the educational means for the residency. And I'll use this as an exemplar. So this is just a slide deck for muscle performance isokinetic testing for the ankle. So you can we'll use this as an example. So you can see that there's uh, essentially five different positions maybe that I use for testing the ankle. And right now I'm really set on this one, and so I would highlight this in this year's content. Perhaps I find that next year, instead of doing the bent knee position, I actually, and this has actually transpired, where I've transitioned to more of the supine position, because I find that when I test people immediately back to back, that we actually get better numbers and reliability for their ankle versus the contribution, even with the hard stop here. They contribute with their hip and their knee, as you might expect. Yeah, so if I do an entire video of a voiceover using a different platform, I would have to potentially have to redo my whole video and or go ahead and clip and edit it. Versus in PowerPoint, if I come in and I do a recording, let's see if I can do a recording of a recording. Say if I do it from this slide per day, I would come in. There's already a recording on this slide, but if I wanted to just reiterate or update it, I would just do on current slide. And now I'm doing a recording of a recording video. So I'd go test, test, test. If I wanted to show myself, I could have done that already by just using this here. Otherwise, I'm gonna stop. It's gonna voice over what was already there, and then I can just continue on with my slide deck. And if I needed to add new slides, I could do that, but I don't have to reiterate on the whole video. I just have to do a single slide, or do a multiple take of a single slide. So that's one of the reasons why I love using PowerPoint for my voiceover and for the videos. And then once I'm like, okay, you can, if I scroll through, you'll see that each one of these slides has a voiceover on it. All I do is I go to File, I go to Export, I do Create Video. Typically, all you need is the 720. That also will save you space. And then I use record timings and narrations. If there are certain slides that don't have voiceover for whatever reason, then I would just go in here and I would say, I want you to spend 10 seconds on those slides where I don't have voiceover. And that's really it. Before I do export it, oftentimes I do recommend compressing it. It will also help in the expediting of the export file. If I was to export this, and I'll use an example here. So I'd go here, I'd say, okay, for the time being, I'll just do a 420, create video. The thing that's going to pop up is like, where do I want to save this video? Oftentimes, I'll use the video folder, or in this case, this project was part of the CSM content, and then also I've used it in the residency, and so you can see that it pre-automates to the previous folder that I've been using for my videos. And that's really it. And oftentimes I like to take multiple takes on each slide, and that's really easy, right? So if I, for instance, go back to the current slide, this one doesn't actually have any content, but if it did, I just hit the record, or I could retake video of all slides. No, just for the current slide. I also have my speaker notes right here. I also find that I give my presentations a lot more effectively when I have voiced over them preemptively. Tertiary to that, I also listen to the PowerPoint presentation for at least for the first week leading up to my next presentation, or several weeks in advance of my next presentation. So, for instance, in 2026, I will listen to my voiceover for 2025, and it primes me for the key points that I want to make. It also primes me for the areas where I want to make changes and updates. And instead of going back and flipping through the slides, I can do this on the run. I can premeditate on it, etc. So it has a lot of benefits. So that is option one for recording your slides. I'll do option two here in a moment using a free service that's already part of our Stanford Microsoft 365. And I'm actually using that content right now. And I'm just going to pull it over and preemptively. It's going to be a screen of a screen of a screen because it's taking a video of the video. But in my home page, I would just go here. I would go stream. And I'm already in stream on the other tab. We'll see how this works. And I can upload a recording. I can go to my screen recording. I can also do camera record. And I can also create playlists. So if I was to use an example of a previous recording, I'd click on that. It's actually quite nice from the standpoint that it's really easy to
after
share.
rehabilitation.
This was actually a voiceover that I did for a CR form feedback. It gives me a downloadable transcript. It also shows that there can be other comments. I can even look at the analytics as to when it was viewed and at what time point that was viewed at. There's reactions. It allows for dialogue around the video as well. So option one would be your PowerPoint. Option two would be Microsoft Stream. Again, free service. It automatically uploads it. If I go back, you can see that it kind of houses all of my, it houses all the other videos I've ever done. I tend to like to be able to upload that to YouTube just for saving of space, and then easy for QR code creation and so on and so forth. But it's really easy once it's already in this format that I don't even have to upload it. It just automatically finishes. If I wanted to share, I just come in and hit share. I don't have to export it like I do in the PowerPoint, but
to make sure that
it doesn't allow,
the resting
unlike the
angle
PowerPoint
returns to the
functionality, it
natural
doesn't allow me
state,
to
or as close to it as possible.
just
So
reiterate
the
on a
more
particular slide or
it
particular
is
section. I would
in
have
more
to clip,
plantar flex
snip,
position at
so on
rest,
and so
the
forth.
better.
But I can.
When
I do
you
have
look
the
at
option
this
to do it
across
here.
time,
And I do like
there's
the
this was
for
a specific
the
comparison
trimming,
study
and
between
then
4
you
and
can
6
also
row
add different
strands
chapters
of repair.
For instance,
So
if
this
I
is a
did that, and it would
relative
generate different chapters of the
angle.
video as well.
So
I hope that helps.
this is compared to the other side.
Reduce some of the barrier and the friction to
you
the
can see that
IT
both within
challenges
the
that come with
6-week
learning
mark
this new
are
skill of being
again
able to
stiffer
voiceover.
than the
I really do
opposite
think
side.
that
But
it's a
then right at the
necessary
6-week
pivot
mark,
for
and
us.
this is the process where they go
Reiterate
through their weight
and big advocate for where Bill is trying to move our residency content.
bearing,
It saves me a
even
whole
there beyond,
time
depending on
also
how much they're
within
doing.
session. That is like during
They
the
will
lecture. The
continue to
last 2
progress
years, I've
back
been
into a
it's
more,
been
we'll call it
wonderful.
less
I've been
stiff
able to
and more
spend
floppy tendon.
instead of going
And
like
so
50-50 split
once
between
this
lecture and lab.
occurs, it's very
At
difficult,
this time point,
not nearly
for my
impossible, conservatively,
lower
to be
extremity
able to
return to sport and my running lecture,
retain that
it's
stiffness.
closer to like
So as you go through this weight
60. I would
bearing
even say
process, the more
70%
that you can slow a person down
lab-based
between
as
0
of
and 3
2024.
months, the
So
better. Once
I think
people hit about
it really
6
is
months, and this is an
the
important
next
decision
generation.
time point for
Let
me
me
for
know if you have any comments,
determining
questions, or
getting
concerns, and
people
we
back
can go from
to
there.
higher level
Otherwise, I'll
activity.